is what he didn't do.
Your Country 1039 KGRT, Miss Carly Pierce, and what he didn't do.
Time now for the question of the day.
Yes, my friends, another week and a whole nother set of questions for our days. Today, I came upon a very special day today because, yes, it is Monday. Yes, it is May the 15th, the Ides of May, if you will. But it is also relive your past by listening to the first music you ever bought, no matter what it was. No Excuses Day. Yes, it is a long title, but of course, this all comes from the fact of the matter of music that we all love and enjoy. But do you remember the first music that you ever bought? Maybe it was on a 45, maybe it was an actual album, a record, vinyl, perhaps it was on a cassette or CD, or maybe, you know, for those out there, it could have even been on an MP3 download that you purchased. Chances are that what you listen to now sounds a little bit different from what it was back then. So don't be embarrassed. Just go ahead and listen to that first bit of music that you ever bought. Now, that brings us to our question of the day, which is very simply, what is the first music that you ever bought with your own money? Yeah, that's right. You earned your cash, babysitting, cutting lawns, whatever it was, your first job, whatever. What is that first piece of music that you went out and bought when you had that cash in your pocket? Now, I will admit this. I'll go first right here, okay? The first two, I bought two 45s from back in the day. Two 45s. Even had to buy the adapter at that time. But I bought two 45s with my very own cash for the first time, and that was, well, it was Peter Cetera, Glory of Love, and Genesis Invisible Touch. Yeah, okay, that's my admission right there. Now, there was music that I purchased earlier and before that, you know, but Mom always gave me the cash to do that. So there's those. But with my very own money that I earned, I think those were the first two that I bought. So some 45s from back in the day. I am showing my age for sure on that one. Amy's already got an answer. She says probably Bon Jovi on cassette, which is a good choice. But once again, not only do you have to remember what you bought, but it is relive your past by listening to the first music you ever bought, no matter what. No Excuses Day. So if you admit to it, you've got to listen to it. But that is our question of the day. What is the first piece of music you ever bought with your own cash? So remember to let me know your answers by calling them in on our hotline, 575-523-KGRT. We're still working on getting our texting up. We will do it, I promise you. Or, of course, you can go ahead and leave your comments right here on our social media pages, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. But what is your answer for our question of the day? What is the first piece of music you ever bought with your own money? And remember, you've got to own up to it and listen to it sometime today. That's the trick right there. Okay, we're exclusively on our social media pages right there. That's the trick. Not only must you remember it, but you also have to listen to it. That is the joy of relive your past by listening to the first music you ever bought, no matter what it was. No Excuses Day, which is today, by the way. So I think I found our sister station, Classic Rock 98.7, had Invisible Touch. So I think I've got that one covered. Going to have to search a little bit for Glory of Love, by the way, which came off, I believe that was the Karate Kid 2 soundtrack right there. Yeah. And of course, Peter Cetera was the former singer of Chicago, because I just happened to have that stuck in my head. But yeah, what is it that was the first piece of music that you ever bought with your own money? And remember, you've got to own up to it. Don't be embarrassed by it. And you've got to listen to it sometime today. Amy, if you need help with that, I can help you with that as far as listening to that one there. I may have a copy somewhere. But yeah, absolutely. What is it that you bought with your own money right there? You know, if you want to go back a little bit, even if maybe your mom or dad gave you the money to go buy it, you know, you walked into the record store and you bought it. If that were the case, if those were the rules, I would probably have to change mine to probably the wrestling album. Yeah. I was a big wrestling fan in the 80s and still am, actually. But yeah, that would have been the other one. I think that was 1985 when I did that. But anyway, while we're waiting for a few more answers, let us go ahead. Pardon me. Let us go ahead and take a look at what's going on in and around the world. There's a new fitness trend that involves jumping like a bunny. Yeah, health clubs are offering bunny hop classes because they claim the hops burn more calories than any other cardio exercise. If you want to get in a good cardio exercise, then try a good Western swing. That'll do it for you. Also, pasta prices are on the rise because, well, the same old thing, supply chain issues, higher energy costs, and inflation. Yeah, it's just the way it is. Everything is going up. Also saw that McCormick Seasoning Company is offering free Old Bay seasoning tattoos. Yeah, the Baltimore Tattoo Museum is offering the tats on a first-come, first-served basis. Old Bay's logo features crabs, crab mallets, and Maryland state flower. So if you ever wanted an Old Bay tattoo, I guess you can make your way to Baltimore. Also saw that Kit Kat is coming out with a new churro flavor that is going to be available for a limited time at Walmart. I am going to be keeping my eyes out for that one. I'll buy a few for the whole crew here. And also saw that Jennifer Lopez's new Netflix thriller, The Mother, is number one on a streaming movie in 83 countries. Probably very popular over the Mother's Day holiday. In the box office, as far as in the theaters as well, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 still at number one with about 60.5 million. Super Mario Brothers at number 2. The Book Club Next Chapter at number 3. Evil Dead Rise is 4. And the top 5 rounds out with Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. So, yeah, that's what's going on in and around the world. And, of course, today we are looking for the answers for the question, what was the first music that you ever bought with your own money? All in honor of Relive Your Past by listening to the first music you ever bought, no matter what it was. No excuses day. No excuses. You have to listen to it. So what was the first music that you ever bought with your own money? Amy says it was probably Bon Jovi on cassette, which is, like I said, a good shout out. I had to admit that it was 245s, Peter Cetera's Glory of Love from the Karate Kid 2 soundtrack, and Invisible Touch from Genesis, because I thought that was a really great song. I think that was 1986, so I was about 14, I think, at the time right there. So there you go. And if mom had to give me the cash to go out and buy an album, it was the wrestling album. I will fully admit to that one as well. I don't know if I can find that one anywhere, but I'm going to try just because. So go ahead and let me know your answers to our question of the day. Once again, you can always call those in on our hotline, 575-523-KGRT. And, of course, you can just leave your comments down below. Think about it for a while if you want. You can leave your comments throughout the day. I always love reading those a little bit later on. And let me know your answers to our question